God, I gotta act better. I gotta be smarter. Oh my God. I think people would ever look at him. Yeah, but I'm just a country boy that I was an alcoholic. Went through a divorce, met this Tibetan Lama. I never thought I'd be involved in, Buddhism was the furthest thing from my mind. Going to rodeos and riding bulls and fighting bulls and stuff. So I always say, I don't even know what I'm doing. I think like Buddhism found me. And so I have to keep moving further in that path. And the more that I practice it, I realize that it's really simple. It's really about working with my own mind. And it's uncomfortable work. Nobody wants to sit every day for 25 minutes or 30 minutes with their own mind. You see statues of the Buddha, or you see pictures of people meditating, you think, oh, they're so serene. Oh, meditation is such a great thing. And then when you try it, you're like, what am I going to have for lunch? Oh, I remember that ex-girlfriend. Oh, hey, I do like horses. Oh, I remember that time I was riding that horse. I was like, oh, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be meditating here, So it has nothing to do with what the pictures or what you think it's going to be like. And then all the teachings, like we don't worship Buddha, at least I don't. Other people do. I just think it's really wild that this guy actually got there. Like he actually stayed with it until he found that peace and that serenity and got control over his mind, And so he's kind of like a role model. We're shooting for that, And for me, it's been a long battle, It's still the war goes on daily with my emotions and things like that, But I'm getting these pauses, longer pauses, before I react in anger or before I judge somebody. I'm getting these longer pauses in between where I'm able to think, is this true? Is this person really a jerk? Or did they really mean that to offend me? Or am I really the dumbest one in the room? Is that true? Is that true? Is this true? Is this true? And I'm able to give people a benefit of the doubt now where I didn't have that, And, people, cut me off in traffic. And I used to turn red and say, you mother, and then like try to hit them. And I want to follow them home and find out where they live, And, the worst like thing I've ever said would come out of my mouth. And I realized it's fear. Like I was scared. They scared me. I thought I was going to die for a second. And then all this adrenaline went into my system. And then I'm focused all my anger on them. So Buddhism has helped me remember, hey, I've accidentally pulled out in front of people. I did it just the other day. I thought no one was beside me. I pulled over and honk, honk. And of course the guy pulled by and shot the bird at me, And I'm like, dude, I totally get it. Like, I'm sorry. Like, wow. Now I'm that jerk, And so Buddhism, the only thing that has done for me is allow me to see how my own mind works, And people came to the Buddha, and you can read it in the scriptures. They asked, is there a God? Is there a heaven? Is there this? Is life eternal? Has the world always been here? Or was it created? And Buddha wouldn't answer. They say that it was a noble silence. He just stayed silent, and he didn't answer those questions. And the reason is he wasn't focused on that. It was more about taking the suffering. Now, there's a parable that is a good analogy for that. It's that, say you get shot by an arrow, and they call 911, and the EMS people get here, and when the EMS get there, they want to help you, and you're like, no, don't help me until you tell me who shot me. Where did the guy go? Can you go catch him, and then you can pull the arrow out? And they're like, no, man, you're gonna die. It's close to your heart. Let's get you to the hospital. No, I don't want to go to the hospital until I find out where this arrow was made. And they're like, what does it matter where the arrow was made? And like, is this a quality arrow? Is this an expensive arrow? Or is this a cheap arrow that some guy made at home, And they're like, dude, we can answer those questions later. Let's get you safe, and let's get the arrow out, And so that's the analogy that Buddha gave. He said, you're worried about God, you're worried about hell, you're worried about the afterlife, you're worried about all this stuff. Worry about your own mind first. Because if you're neurotic and you're fearful and under the sway of other people's beliefs and stuff, you can't logically think out and find out your perception of God or your perception of the afterlife. You're believing the preacher, or you're believing your family, or you're believing the guy on TV or whatever. So Buddhism would say, get clear enough in your mind so you can think for yourself, and then get that arrow out, get healed, and then think about those things later. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, so let me take a drink of this vodka real quick. So I'm really excited to share this text, and I'm glad y'all showed up today. This is one of my favorite texts. It's The Way of the Bodhisattva, and I can send you a link, or y'all can take a picture of it, or whatever, if you care to purchase it. If not, just show up every Saturday, because we'll go through the whole book together, But the reason I love this text is, one, I got to hear the Dalai Lama speak from it when I was in India, and so it's very meaningful. Other stuff I'm reading, I'm trying to come up with my own interpretation and stuff, but this one thing I actually heard the Dalai Lama speak about, so I can pull from those teachings. And another aspect of that I love so much is the guy that wrote it. It's 700 years AD, so 700 years, yeah. And so it's an old text, but it changed the face of Buddhism. Because before, I'm not saying there was other things working, but Buddhism began as a very liberate yourself kind of feeling, like more just, this is my own deal, I don't share it with anybody, I don't talk to anybody about it, I'm just worried about me not being reborn over and over and over and over. I just want to get out of this cycle of rebirth. Whereas when the Mahayana teachings came, and this is one of the best texts for Mahayana Buddhism, it suddenly turned from myself to others. How can I help others? And by helping others, I help myself, And what it's called is bodhicitta. It's this desire that not only I awaken, but everybody awaken. And once again, it's just another tool to work with your own mind. So like if I have bodhicitta towards Trump, that's going to save me from, or whoever, the guy that cuts me off in traffic. Instead of getting upset, I'm like, I want nothing but the best for you. I'm so happy we're not on the side of the road sharing our insurance, and I'm here all day waiting for the police to come. Then I got to worry about paying for your vehicle and everything. I'm not going to get mad at all. God bless you. I want nothing but the best for you, my friend. And that's bodhicitta. That's the heart of loving kindness towards the world. And so we're going to able to discuss quite a bit of that when we go through this text. And then also, Shantideva is like an anti-hero. Like, he was a monk, but everybody thought that he was a terrible monk. Like, he would sleep late, he wouldn't show up for class. The only time you saw him was in the dining hall when they were serving the food. Oh, now you get out of bed. You couldn't come to the 4 classes and the meditation we did today, but you're showing up now that there's food on the table. You know what I mean? And we'll discuss that a little bit more. But yeah, he's an unlikely hero to have written this. He was bullied by people in Nalanda University where he went. And a lot of times I read these things from scholars that had all these different teachers and all this education, and they have degrees in Buddhist philosophy and all this stuff. And it's like, great, I mean, it's good stuff. But this guy was supposed to be nobody. Like, nobody thought he was smart. Everybody thought he was lazy. And he turns out to write something that we're still reading today and literally changed everything about Buddhism. It's affected every aspect of Buddhism, this one guy, So anyway, we will do our chanting, and then somebody will have to volunteer to be the shrine attendant. And I'll walk you through it, whoever feels brave enough to do it. Tam, have you ever done it before? You want to do it? Yeah? All right, I'll walk you.
Original shrine attendant that usually is here every Saturday.
Charlie?
Uh-huh.
Well, we've had multiple,
okay.
But I think she had to work today. So, all right, let me turn this thing off, if I can figure out how to do it, and we'll record the next session.